coming to you from a messy desk and a messy hair day near you, and a curious toddler in the background. So it's day 8. I haven't been keeping up with posting my videos, but I have been keeping up with making them. And today's topic, a little bit of creative overwhelm and backlash, is part of why. So for me, as a creative, my imagination is in overdrive all of the time. Literally, the front half of my brain is functioning. It's doing stuff, it's working, it's thinking about, hey, I'm making this video. What am I going to say? Okay, I've got some stuff going on around me. There's a TV on and my toddler playing. But the back of my head, it's like there's a curtain. Like the Wizard of Oz type? Yeah. And there's all this crazy stuff going on. It's paint splattering. It's things running around. It's just sparkles and glitter and yarn and just creative energy just zooming around the room like, whoa, non-stop. And it's a good thing there's a curtain, because if my entire brain was like that, I'd never get anything done. So then all of a sudden the curtain will part and this idea kind of rolls out like a dodgeball. And then my brain's like, oh, well, that's a great idea. And it's awesome. But sometimes it's not one dodgeball. Sometimes it's a wall of bricks that just falls through the curtain. And it's a bit like a tidal wave. And all of a sudden, I'm doing stuff, I'm being productive, I'm writing, I'm working, and whoosh, it hits me. And then I feel like I'm on a beach, waterlogged, thrown out by the sea, spitting up water. And I glance around me, and there is just creative debris everywhere. And then my brain is just like an over-soaked sponge. It just sits there, slowly leaking creative juices and water and bits, and I'm just, what? So if you're like me, that happens to you, and probably more than you want it to. And what I found myself thinking is, oh my gosh, I can't get anything done. That's the end of the world. Ah! And this comes into one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Dyer, where he says that our internal chaos is reflected in our external chaos. And those are not his exact words, but it's been said a couple of times, and I prefer the word chaos because creative chaos just kind of meshes really well for me, because it's exactly what it feels like. When I say chaos, it's not this bad thing like some people make it out to be. I'm talking primordial soup, the beginning of the world, like everything just kind of in a messy bunch. And it's all there, all the goodness, all the mehness, all the, okay, maybe we don't want this. This is all there, and it's just there. It's not good, it's not bad, it's potential. And the problem with this potential is that sometimes it gets a little out of hand. So, for me, I won't show you my desk because I've got bead boxes stacked up to here. I have a stack of jewelry here with some bottle caps because I'm using the Pomodoro technique to get things done. Then I've got the regular things on my desk, like my little Mammy money jar. Yeah, don't ask. It's an inherited thing, and it's really weird. And it's just kind of terrible that I had it, but it's even more terrible who I inherited it from. A pen cup. I've got another little decor metal tin bucket full of some wooden beads and various other things. Then I have got the aftermath of some crafting off to my left, where I was doing some Turkish lace with beads and papers and notions and just, and it's crazy. And in the last 24 hours, when it has got to this point, I haven't gotten anything done, because all of this has dumped onto my desk. And I find that it's almost like it takes on a life of its own once it leaves my head, and it gets worse, and it multiplies. And if you've ever had dishes that seem to, like, appear overnight, or the laundry that turns into a mountain somehow, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, one of the things that I found that works great for me is this really simple thing, and you're going to laugh, because, well, yeah, of course. But if I was doing it and I was applying it right, I wouldn't need to bring it up. Take 15 minutes and tidy. And, oh, it's a car. Thank you. So you take 15 minutes and you tidy. And then stop. And just do 15 minutes, and it doesn't have to be a structured 15 minutes. It can be 15 minutes where you say, okay, I've got these 7, 8 bead boxes on my desk. Okay, they go on a shelf in the other room. So I get up and I take them and I put them on the shelf, and it's done. I don't need to think about it. I know where it goes. I put it where it goes. Okay, my coin jar is not in its usual space on the desk. Okay, right? So I take it and I put it in its usual space. I've got some notions and tools that actually go on a bag that's hanging on my chair off to the right. So I put all the tools and notions back in their little zippered pocket, and I put them there. And I just keep doing that. And the really important thing about decluttering in this fashion is don't overthink it. Don't sit there and say, okay, well, all right, to clean the living room, I've got to vacuum it. But to vacuum it, I've got to do this. So just, quote Nike, just do it. And it's really, really important that you recognize that. Hold on. You have a car situation. And it's really important that you recognize that. And you just do it. Because this is what happens to me. I'm extremely OCD about certain things. Not everything, but certain things. In such a way that my perfectionism, my wanting to do things a certain way, blocks me from doing it at all. Which is a terrible, terrible neighbor to the creative chaos that is my brain, at least 85% of the time. So, it's funny that I have that little dichotomy, and I bet you I'm not the only one. I'm sure that you, or somebody you know, kind of have some of the same things going on, where you are one way in one part of your life, and you're completely different in another part of your life, and they just kind of battle each other like rawr, angry cats, and it's just, everybody just gets scratched up. It doesn't really get anything done. So, take 15 minutes, and just, alright, this, and then stop. And then step back and take a look at what you've cleared up, and you'll see a difference. And it's great, and it's lovely. And I'll tell you this, I learned this technique from using Fly Lady years and years and years and years and years and years ago. And she does several organization systems that are targeted at working mothers or stay-at-home moms or busy women, basically. And it can be used by anybody. You don't have to be a work-at-home mom. You don't even have to have kids. You can just be a busy woman of some extent. And the Pomodoro technique, which I mentioned to you earlier, I actually altered it a little bit. And the first thing I do is I use bottle caps because I have 1,500 of these for a huge craft project, don't ask. So I take whatever quota I wanted to meet, which in this case was 50. I'm reviewing / writing 50 listings in my shop because I want to be done by this Friday. So I take 50 and I say, alright, I'm going to put these 50 in this tub. And what I'm going to do is, in my case, I actually empty the tub. And then I put the tub on my desk or where I can reach it. And every time I do one, into the tub it goes. So then I have some visual reminder to myself that, hey, I've gotten this much done. The Pomodoro technique has it based around a 25-30 minute cycle, and